Hi, I'm Michael Jordan with AB Friendly Company, and you're down at the Underground Meadery in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting and subscribing to us and sending it out to other people that we try to do great and interesting things when brewing mead. And we hope that you've enjoyed what we do with brewing mead. Uh, Today, I've got a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully, the recording's working well because we've been having some trouble with it. So, hopefully, everything's coming out good and looking good to you. Remember, we do not do any editing. Everything is done completely through and through. So if you brew with us, you're brewing just like we are. No stops, no errors, no flaws, no nothing. It's just brewing. Sometimes you forget stuff. You got to walk over and go get it. Hopefully, you have everything you need prepped and prepared. In order to prep and prepare, I'm going to tell you what we have. We're going to have a 1-gallon glass fermentation device. We're going to be using a thermometer gun to check the temperature. I'm going to be using a hydrometer tube and hydrometer to, oh, see, it's a good thing I was looking, right? Because I put my hydrometer, oh, it's right here. So you got your hydrometer tube and your hydrometer to test with, right? So I can check the temperature and the gravity. So I got my fermentation device I'll brew in, my temperature gauge to check the temperature, see if we can drop the yeast, the hydrometer calculator to see what the potential alcohol is. With that, we're going to go ahead with the ingredients. We're going to go with the simple part of the ingredients. Is we're going to be using Red Star Premier Blanc Yellow Pack yeast. It does 3 to 5 gallons. We use 1 whole pack. Usually takes us 90 days for finished fermentation. It can be quick as 30. So we're going to be using Premier Blanc Yellow Pack yeast. We're going to be using water. We got natural spring water. This time I went out and I dipped it, so it doesn't look great. But I'm going to tell you, it's probably the best water you're ever going to drink. You can drink it straight out of the stream. It's great. Then we're going to use our honey for the mead. And we're going to use 2 pounds of honey so we can compare it to other meads that we've made with just specific honeys. All of them made with just how you made it with just different honey. So that way you can test the clover against the buckwheat, and the buckwheat against the apple blossom, and the apple blossom against the avocado, the periwinkle, the manuka, right? I mean, if you make 2 pounds, make them all the same so you can taste which ones you like. Straight meads this way. We're doing one that's really super cool and super fun. Is that this is 2 pounds of whiskey barrel aged honey. Right? I haven't even opened it up. It's been dipped in wax. It's really super cool. It's been aged for 10 years in a wooden barrel that was made to make whiskey. So it's been rolled like this. The barrel just turns like this on a roller, and the honey just kind of go, and it infuses the whiskey oak taste inside the honey. So I've even opened this up. This is whiskey barrel aged 10-year natural premium unfiltered honey with a total of 2 pounds. This is American raw Rocky Mountain wildflower honey aged 10 years in a whiskey barrel. So let's see what we got here. Like I said, I didn't even open this up yet, so I don't know. Oh. I might even keep this. It's got a little stopper. Wow. It even has a killer smell to it. So that's really kind of cool. So we're going to be doing whiskey barrel aged honey mead. We're going to be using a coffee pot method. So first thing we need to do for our coffee pot is we should pour some of this water in it and get the water warm to dissolve the honey. It doesn't take much in a coffee pot or a steamer, right? You just pour some in. I usually go 3 cups. That way if I have 2 jars, I can do a cup in each one and 1 for the jug. We're going to put this in the coffee pot. It's going to steam. There we go. Set that underneath there. It's going to roll and go. So now we're getting our water started to dissolve honey. So what we're going to do, it's had a little wax capping on it. I want to get the wax away from the edge here. So I'm going to add this to my fermentation device. Save your lids to everything. Recycle, reuse. Pour this in. That's cool. We'll watch it drop like an IV bottle, huh? So I'm really interested how this turns out. Whiskey aged honey. Got another cool one we're gonna do. It's called smoked honey. It's really kind of cool. We'll do it when we do some brochettes and stuff. So that's kind of cool. With the coffee pots going, and we're dropping our honey in, IV style. because it just so happens to fit in my jug just right. All right, let's see if we can get a little more air in here. This is a cool looking bottle. I will save this from this whiskey aged bottle from Rocky Mountain aged honey. So there's something to try. Kind of age your honey in a whiskey bottle or in a whiskey barrel before you use it. Make it mead and then pour it back in the whiskey barrel and make your mead in there. So then you got infused whiskey honey made into a mead that's being aged in a whiskey jug. I mean, there's a lot you could do with that one, I think. But we're doing good. Now, remember, for every pound of honey, we should get 5% alcohol. So this is 2 pounds. We should be roughly anywhere from 7 to 10% alcohol, depending on the sugar content. And what I don't know what the whiskey age does, but I'm going to keep my lid and all my stuff. And I've got some hot water here already. All right, about a cup. We're going to pour it in here. Okay. Now, when they're plastic jugs, you can squeeze them, twist the lid on it, and then when they steam up, they pop out and it doesn't make a mess. This has a pop top that will shove back in. And I'm going to use a rag in case it pops off because I don't want steam and honey all over me. And the reason we're doing this is to get the residual honey all out. This is the shake. If you're drinking mead, drink, because this is the shake. This is when you drink. All right, so I've got all the honey down. Looks good. All right, so you pop this off. Pour this in. And we've got all the whiskey aged honey in now. I'm going to save this, recycle, reuse. I'm into that. That's kind of cool. Now, when you do a mead, you should drink a mead. This is a cranberry pomegranate infused with some chocolate. You saw us do it here. Check out the videos for the cherry pomegranate chocolate. See how we made it? I got about 6 ounces poured here. I did a shake. Wow. Out of 5 stars, I'll be putting 4 on this one. I will be making this one again. Wow. That's awesome. So, what's super cool, what's going on here is that we've now had a mead. Wow, that's good. We've poured our honey into our fermentation device. And you can see the honey stick to the sides, right? It's not like running, right? So, we're going to add some hot water to it. Because we want to dissolve the honey. Keep your lids, recycle, reuse. Now, if you've got your mead poured, time to drink again. There we go. See, no honey. It's all dissolved with that water, right? So since I give it a shake, that's good. All right. So now I've got my honey in my fermentation device, and I've got it dissolved. We add our water. All right, so we'll add our water in. And I usually like to fill it halfway so I can continue mixing it. I'm gonna get the right lids. There you go. Did a shake. All right. Put the rest of the water in here. save this for this. Talk about that in a minute. So I've got the jug filled up. I probably will dump a little bit more water in it here to get it up to here, which I'll do right now. I have an osmosis machine that filters the water. That we will put a little bit more water in it. So I want to bring it up so there's about 1.5 to 2 inches of head space. Just like you see on this jug that's right next to me here, about 1.5 to 2 inches of head space. That allows fermentation to happen. But I want much alcohol as I can get from here, right? So we'll pour this in. Cool. Oh, and I didn't turn it all the way off. I got my little machine here. I got to keep running the well water through because I want good water. If I can't go to a spring to get it, I run it through this machine to get all the stuff out of it. All right, so I've got my mead made. The next step is check the alcohol content. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the alcohol by getting out our gravity tube. Fill your gravity tube about 3 inches from the top. Because remember, it's like the crow in the water and the pebbles. Water was this low in the cup. Crow added pebbles until the water got top enough to drink it. So what's going to happen here is that I've got this full about this much, and what I'm going to do is take a hydrometer, eBay, Amazon, brew store, throw my hydrometer in, and it's going to float. Look at that. Now remember, we only put 2 pounds of honey in it, so it's not going to be a lot of alcohol. We're trying to differentiate flavor at the same yeast, same water, same everything amongst other honeys. So this is only going to read about 6% alcohol, right? To maximum of 9, depending on what the fructose sugar is in it, right? But so we're reading right here on that line at point 0.050, which is 7%. So we're at about 7% alcohol about with this. Remember to wash this off. Put it back in the tube because we don't want it to break. Okay. Now we know that this is about 6% alcohol, right? 7%, somewhere in there, right, that we're looking at. Because we added about 2 pounds of honey, 5% alcohol. So yeah, we're about 7%, I think is what it said. So we're going to put this back in the jug. But before we do that, we're going to take a temperature reading to see if we can drop the yeast. Yeast should be dropped from 65 to 85. I like mine at about 75, controls my rolling of the fermentation for altitude and climate. I don't like a fast rolling thing where it pops my balloons and all stuff flies all over. I like a nice slow, mellow roll where everything's going. But I don't want it 60% where the yeast is almost dormant. That's called cold crashing. So what we're going to do is I'm using Red Star Premier Blanc, yellow pack yeast, good brewer's yeast, never had any problems with it. It eats all the alcohol, all the sugar. So up to 23% alcohol, it will turn it into that because it eats all the sugar. And we are at 70. So that's a good shot. Right? So we're good at that. So I'm going to, now you can measure 3 teaspoons out of this and do 3 different batches. Or you can do what I do, dry drop. I can take this, pour it in a cup, pour the yeast in it, watch it rise. That's called a starter, and then jump it back in. But I just dry drop it, right? We're just going to go ahead and go with it. We're going to use a full pack. I'm then going to go ahead and add my residual back in. And then we're going to do the jostle to get the yeast and everything kind of mixed up in there. Just a little jostle. Like that, right? Super easy, super cool. And since we did the jostle, take another sip. Super good. So now I've made a whiskey barrel aged honey mead. Right, how it turns out, I don't know, man. It's this is the first time I've ever gotten a 10-year aged whiskey barrel honey, and so I think it's super cool. But that's basically everything we had. We're gonna put our airlock on it. I use a balloon airlock, that way any adjuncts will go up into the balloon and hang in the balloon during fermentation. Remember, yeast eats sugar, urinating alcohol that we drink, super cool. And the CO2 gas emission is kind of like residual waste that comes out. As long as it's blowing CO2 out, nothing gets inside to contaminate it. Many different types of airlocks used. You put them on, the yeast and everything ferments and they bubble. A particle, like dandelion from dandelion mead, a grape peel, if we're making a piment, or anything that we use for an adjunct that can plug up those holes, pressurizes this vessel and blows it up and sprays all over everywhere. Right? So me, I like a balloon for my first stages of almost everything. That way, if anything blows up, it goes in my balloon, and I'm able to see fermentation. Right? So I just use a balloon. Now we're all done with this, and what's really cool is that you take your paper, you take your pen, and we're going to write down the date, the type of mead is smoked, aged honey whiskey barrel, 2 pounds, 1 gallon water, 1 pack Yellow Star yeast, starting gravity 0.060. All right, and I'm going to fix this to my jug. Oh, I can find my tape. Maybe my tape dispenser's broken. Oh, no, right there it is. All right. Oh, no. I might be out of tape. I might have to get more tape. Here we go. There's a baby. Just enough. Bam. Just enough. All right. So I take my whole recipe and I put it on here, and usually in 60 to 90 days, it's ready to either drink or to back sweeten, depending on what I like about it. But I thought this was really cool that we're using a 10-year aged honey in a whiskey barrel. So I think this will be really cool to try. Hopefully you guys like this, right? That you're going to see us do all kinds of stuff. One thing before we go, Dan sent me the blood honey from Hawaii. It's done. Look at that. It's all cleared up, red, and it's just from the honey. It's called blood honey from Hawaii. Only 2 locations in the world that's made. Dan used to work for Rainbow Honey out of Hawaii, specifically separated it for us to do this, to show you. I don't know if you'll be able to get it, but it's a Hawaiian blood honey, and it's red, and it's super cool. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to rack this off because I cold crashed it. Since this is just water, I'm just dumping out of my jug, man. And I'm going to rack this off. Now, I have a filter on the bottom of this. The filter's in some of our notes and show notes of where you can get it from Allied Brewing. And your brew store might have it. What's really cool is I can drop it all the way into the jug, set it down where the must is, and it won't ever suck it up, right? So I just go. Wow, that's a super dry mead. Super dry. Wow. Wow, that tastes. And that's just like drinking like a vodka. Oh my God. That's like drinking vodka. Lots, man, that's like, this will be pretty interesting to try. So I'm just racking it off. So this one's done. This will be our whiskey aged barrel, and I'm racking off a Hawaiian blood honey that has, man, it's super smooth. It's like vodka. I believe we put 3 pounds of blood honey into this, as that's what he sent us. We used it all. So yeah, this will be super cool. But with that, and you see how we're doing everything, right? You're going to see us start getting into some brochettes, right? So as you get going, you're going to see us doing some smoked honeys. You're going to see us do some more infusions. Stay tuned. Stick around. Enjoy some mead making. Michael Jordan, AB Friendly Company, Underground Meadery, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Like, share, subscribe. Hopefully you enjoy all this. I do. Let's see if we can get the mouse to work here. Oh, yeah. There it is. Congratulations.